One. Hello, once again, everyone. I'm your host, Ray Shasho. Welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends, brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency, specializing in authors and musicians. Remember, we shine only when we make you shine. Call us today at 941-567-6193 or find us on the web. Well, it was 1972. Pretty good, very good year for music, when the hit Alone Again Naturally sealed the fame for singer-songwriter Gilbert O Sullivan. The song topped the USA charts for 6 weeks and garnered 3 Grammy nominations. Soon after, he got his first 3 British #1 hits with Clair and Get Down, an LP back to front. Gilbert was named Songwriter of the Year from Ivor Novello Awards, embarked on a 18-city UK tour and a USA tour, performed sold-out concerts, clocked another UK top 10 hit with Why Oh Why Oh Why, and in 1974 won a 3rd Ivor Novello Award. And today, Gilbert's 20th studio album, Driven, finds him working with a new producer, the revered Andy Wright from Simple Minds, Jeff Beck, and others, the Eurythmics, recording with a full band at London's famous Rack Studios. The direction of the album is an organic and raw affair, featuring a mix of ballads as well as upbeat songs, all written by an fantastic master craftsmanship of Gilbert O Sullivan. And a unique addition to this new album, Gilbert has collaborated on duets with Mick Hucknall of Simply Red and KT Tunstall. Please welcome legendary singer, songwriter, and musician Gilbert O Sullivan to Interviewing the Legends. Hello, Gilbert.
Hello, Raymond. Good to be with you.
Good to be with you too. Are you in Jersey today?
Yeah, this is home.
How's the weather?
It's about 35 degrees. It's expected to go over 40 by next Monday. We have a concert in Birmingham. I'm not sure, unless they can take the roof off, it's going to be really hot.
I'm down here in Florida. Yeah, we miss you in Florida, man. You got to get some Florida dates. Your last tour did not have Florida dates.
We're coming back in 2023, and we'll, with a bit of luck, we'll get to you.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be awesome, man. You got a lot of fans down here. Want to talk about the new album, of course. It's a great album. I enjoyed it immensely. It's called Driven. I think it officially comes out July 22nd. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. I love it. It's your 20th album. I'm going to go over a couple of my favorite songs. It starts out with Love Casualty, a very good pop tune. Blues Anchor Bay. Go ahead.
That kind of has a West Coast feel, I think. Love Casualty.
It does. It sure does. Yeah, I love your songwriting, by the way. Blue Anchor Bay, that's vintage Gilbert right there. And of course, why did you pick Let Bygones Be Bygones for Mick on that tune?
Well, because my producer, Andy Wright, of course, produced Simply Red.
Okay.
So they'd be meeting up. And I had met Mick at a charity concert a few years back. I knew he was a fan of my music, so I just met him and just to say hello. So he said to Andy, when Andy went to his home, he said, look, if Ray's got a song that he'd like me to sing, I'd love to do it. So we sent him Love Casualty and Let Bygones Be Bygones. And he really liked Let Bygones Be Bygones. So there you go. It's a softer Mick. We're used to kind of Simply Red Mick Hucknall sounding quite raucous. But on this, he sings quietly, which is, it's nice. It's an honor to have him on there.
It is. It's a great collaboration.
Thank you.
By the way, yeah. Body and Mind, another favorite of mine. Great song. And my favorite, of course, is probably a lot of other people's favorite. I was a top 40 DJ back in the late 70s, so I can see a hit every time. Okay. And of course, Take Love is a hit. That would have been all over the top 40 charts for sure. To talk about that song with KT.
When we recorded it with the band and myself, we were really happy because I didn't meet the musicians until the studio was booked. I had met obviously with Andy to go through the songs, so he liked them if he wanted to work with me. And I only met the musicians in the studio. I always let the producer pick the musicians rather than me picking musicians I know are good. I always feel it's better. And Andy picked some really good people, 5 of them, 2 guitars, bass, drums, and organ. And so the first time I met them was in the studio, and they sat around the piano. I played the first song. They go back to their chairs. We rehearse it a few times. Light comes on, we take it. In 5 days, we did 14 tracks. So
wow,
we never set out to do a kind of live something. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, with 2 guitars, one can do a solo and the other one can maintain the rhythm. But it was and take that, it just felt really good. And we thought this might be nice for a duet. And so I said to Andy that Katie Tunstall had a huge hit in the UK a few years back with a song called Suddenly I See, similar kind of tempo. So we said, let's approach Katie. She lives in California. We sent it to her. She loved the song and said, please, love to do it. We said, sing how you want. Sing it how you want. We don't mind what you do. She did a great version. And it was nice meeting her for the first time when she came to London and we did a video together. I hadn't done a video in about 30 years. So it's kind of nice to do that with her. We had a great time.
Yeah, I'd love to see you do an album of all duets. You know, I mean, it was really popular with Frank Sinatra. I've had Engelbert on the show. He's done it. And it's also a lot of fun, I guess, you know, if you can pick these guys to perform with you, huh?
Well, my most famous duet was with Peggy Lee.
Right. I remember that.
And that was a magical thing for me. So it's very special.
Yeah, not too many people can say they sang with Peggy Lee. She was an amazing artist. She really was. Another great song, Back and Forth, which is kind of I call it an old-timey traditional tune, or a little country, I guess.
It's country-ish, isn't it? Yeah, it has a kind of country. Yeah. I'm glad you like that. So, I mean, I don't analyze what I do,
right?
Except I do the work, and I like guys like you like it or loathe it.
I love it. I'm going to give it 5 stars. I'll give it 5 stars. It's a really good album. You know, people don't realize how hard you work. I watched a couple of documentaries about you, and the way you go about picking a title for a song. I mean, you've got all these newspaper clippings in a studio. You got all these cassette tapes. I mean, you work really hard at songwriting.
Well, that's the key. Yeah, I wouldn't be talking to you, I mean, if it wasn't for the song. The songs are the key to everything. Without the songs, there's no artists and stuff. And I really work hard. I have that brill building mentality of going in at 9 o'clock, sitting there till 5 o'clock to see what I can come up with. I mean, I'll stay there for 4 weeks, a month, and I'll stay there for 2 months if necessary. I'll concentrate, because the key is, what I'm always searching for is melody. I don't have to search too much for lyrics, because that seems to be in me. But I do search for melody, because without, we don't read music. So therefore, how are we able to write melody? It's because we're influenced by great melodies coming out of in contemporary rock and roll and stuff. The Beatles look at what the Beatles were influenced by. Very MOR stuff that they used to say, A Taste of Honey, Till There Was You. Those are considered by young people to be really kind of old fashioned, but that's what made them great songwriters. They played those kind of wonderful tunes, which helped them when they developed their style. So the key is, I'm always searching, looking for the strength of a melody, because without that melody, I think you suffer.
I can see how the melody would be difficult. I mean, do you normally have the song already written and then you put the melody to the lyrics? Is that how you do it?
No, the melody is always first.
Oh, the melody's first. Okay.
I have the Irving Berlin approach, that if I come up with a good melody during a writing session, I'll trunk it. Right. That's what he used to do. And so therefore, a good melody won't date. A good melody, if it's really good, won't date. You can almost use it anytime. But I never finish a lyric, Raymond, until I know I'm going to be recording.
So you write it, you do it first on your piano. Do you bring in other musicians before you add the lyrics, or?
No, it's just me. Just me
you.
and the door. Just me and the door and the piano in a little room upstairs with all the notes up there. I mean, I just jot things down and stuff, because generally when I write the lyrics, I don't know what it's going to be about. There are a few lyrics that I have the titles, but that's kind of exciting too, not to know what it's going to be about. You've got a nice melody, and off you go with an empty notebook. What's it going to be about? You don't know. It's kind of, yeah, you start with nothing and you end up, it's the Leonard Cohen thing of writing more than you need, because
Yeah.
you're working on the sixth verse,
Right.
and somebody should be tapping you on the shoulder saying, you only need three, for God's sake. Why are you doing six for? It's the love of the craft.
Yeah. You know, you would think you'd be a great writer as far as an author as well. The way you think, you know, you could do, you know, a lot of different types of books, you know, and be
Well,
creative.
yeah, I can, you know, I've stayed within the system of writing pop songs. I
Right.
haven't gone into theatrical. I'm influenced by theatrical,
Hmm.
but I don't want to go in that area.
Yeah.
I kind of like the limitations of a 3-minute song. I kind
Right.
of,
Right.
I'm really, you know, I'm happy with that. I don't look beyond it, but it isn't easy always to get the good result. You have to work harder.
You know, I love the 3 minute song. You know, being in top 40, I loved it. You know, it's to the point, it sounds great, and you're always wanting more after that. So I agree with you 100% on that. That's a good way to think. If only love had ears, to me, that was an interesting title, by the way. I like that.
That was on the wall. That was on the wall. I used to look at it going to music.
Really.
One day I've got to do a song with them.
It kind of sounds Beatles-ish in a way.
Well, that wouldn't be a surprise. That they were a big influence for me, of course.
Yeah.
Everybody, but in particular on songwriters, early, you know, McCartney and Lennon,
Hmm.
brilliant song.
You know, it's funny. I remember when Alone Again came out, a lot of people were thinking Paul McCartney with your music. You know, the way you approached the song, you know, maybe you looked like him a little bit in the younger day. Did you get any of that when you first came out?
Well, I mean, you know, I admire. I didn't kind of analyze or go into detail about what, how, or if. Or I just do the work. I mean,
Yeah,
it's nice to have people well
right.
known who like your work. I mean, for example, you know, getting Neil Diamond, who does a
Hmm.
cover of Love Again, and then sends me a letter, a lovely letter in the hope
Nice.
that I like it. I mean, things like that are kind of really special.
Yeah, yeah. Gilbert, we need you, man. Neil Diamond's gone now. He's not doing much. I mean, you know, guys like Peter Frampton are not around. There's a lot of artists that are retiring. So we need the legends. You need to stick around for a while.
Well, I mean, you know, if I come up with the goods, there's every reason to stay in competition. I mean, you know, I'm still ambitious. I'm still determined, you know, to compete with the Ed Sheerans and the
Hmm.
Harry and you know the Adeles of this world,
Sure. Why
because
not?
that's, you know, that's the joy of this part of the business. And so
Exactly. You can't say I didn't try. Another cool lyric. That was a fun song. I really enjoyed that one too.
going back to If Only Love Had Ears,
Okay.
what I liked about that was I'd never written a song with a musical intro. So, for example, if I fell in love with you, would you
Yeah.
promise?
Yeah.
Right
Exactly.
intro to the song, and then McCartney, I need a better life, I need a love to give me sight, here,
Hmm.
there. So I always wanted to do that. So I'm really pleased that with Only Love has that nice little musical intro. So,
It does. It really does. I love it. Um, hey man, another cool tune. Another vintage Gilbert song. Really enjoyed that one. And another track that had an interesting title. Don't get under each other's skin.
yeah,
I
well,
mean,
that's kind of music. That's almost like a musical.
yep.
I'm kind of interested in a musical, like McCartney would do. Think up a song your mother should know and all that kind of stuff. So
Exactly.
the music hall is there, and it's just a fun way to end the album. Don't get
Mhm.
under each other's skin. Just enjoy each other.
I love it. It's a great album. Like I said, I gave it 5 stars. A lot of people are going to be surprised. What are you working on now? Are you working on your next adventure, or
No, this busy year is all about promotion, Raymond.
okay,
I do a lot of TV next week.
good,
We have a concert on Monday in Birmingham,
okay,
and, and then we're doing a funny, interesting thing on the 27th of this month. You know, this new system of listing begins with A, Anos, Aos, or A or something. It's a sound system to be able to
right,
list albums. It's a new phenomenon which has taken the business by storm.
huh,
And so we're doing a showcase where, in a small little theatre, where this system will play the whole album. I'll do a meet and greet with Andy, the producer. Some
hmm,
journalists will be invited, and some of the public will be able to come in, fans of mine. So But it's apparently this system of listening to records is currently sort of big time. So
Fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing.
So we're lots of promotion right to the end of the year. We'll continue touring in Europe.
You started touring again, I think on July 11th, right? In the new theater, you had a show there, and
Yeah,
also in Lancaster.
Yeah, we've done about 10 shows so far.
Okay.
So we start again on Monday, and then we go to Ireland later, and then we go around the UK. It's all to do with promoting a record. Listen, Raymond, it's no good putting out a record if you're not prepared to get out there and promote it. And one of the best ways to promote it is to see the people who
yeah, that's the hard part, I'm an author, and the hardest part is promoting my book. I mean, the easy part is writing it. I understand what you go through, man.
You do signings?
I haven't done any signings. The last book I did is called The Rockstar Chronicles. It's got over 50 interviews I've done with all the legends. I'd like to put you in maybe my next series. I'm going to do 4 series. I'll send you the information after later on when I
read a lot of music biographies. I'm well into that. I'm not sure I'll get the Dave Davis one of Ray Davis of the Kinks. His book has just come out, but I'm not sure if I'll get that.
Dave Davies.
Dave, yeah.
He's got it. He's in my book. Dave's in my book. Yeah, he's a nice guy, really good guy.
Yeah, he's just published his.
We talk a lot about our older brothers. We both have issues with our older brothers, so we connect there.
Well, the interesting thing with me is my guitar player, Bill Shanley, who works with me. We do a 2-hour show, just the two of us. And the other person he works with and has worked with for years was Ray Davis. Ray always had Bill. So it's interesting that Raymond Davis had Bill and Raymond O Sullivan, i.e. Gilbert, has Bill. And the lucky thing for me is at the moment, Ray is not on the road. So right. I've got Bill to myself. So.
Very good. Very cool. You've had some interesting producers, some great producers. And you once said that you like to work with new producers as well.
Yeah, but that's easy to explain because I write the songs, I sing them. That's always the same.
Right.
But what a new producer will bring to it is that it makes that little difference. The last album, Ethan Johns, brother, son of Glyn Johns,
right,
just the Stones and the Beatles and so. So Ethan has he's very analog minded. It was all recorded in my studio, and his approach to production really was good. Now Andy is different. Andy has a different approach, but again, different to Ethan. So that gives the album that difference that I think is necessary. So you're not sounding the same as you were on the previous ones.
Exactly. And of course, you worked with Gordon Mills, who was Tom Jones' guy for a very long time. That was interesting. Yeah.
Well, Gordon was my manager as well as producer.
As producer, yeah.
He was a good producer. There's no question about that.
Yeah, I didn't realize Gordon also wrote music as well.
Well, he co-wrote It's Not Unusual.
Yeah, yeah.
And he wrote songs in the 60s, sort of hits for a few people. Johnny Kidd and the Pirates had a big hit with one of his songs, "Hungry for Love."
Right.
I'm hungry for love. He wrote
exactly.
That. Okay.
Yeah, and also Graham was now Graham was your producer, right? Goldman.
Graham Goldman.
Yeah, he wrote a ton of songs.
Graham was a good friend. We did a concert in 2017, and I invited him on stage to sing, to play the bass on Nothing Rhymed, because Nothing Rhymed has a nice bass intro.
Right.
So it was kind of a nice little guest appearance to have him on. He's he tours with 10cc. He's the only original member.
Yeah.
Very short, doesn't do it, and he enjoys it.
Yeah, I'll be interviewing Graham in the future. They told me to hold off. He's working on some project, and we're going to promote that. But if my listening audience doesn't know about Graham, he wrote For Your Love, Heart Full of Soul from the Yardbirds.
No Milk Today.
Oh, man. Evil Hearted Woman. Evil Hearted You. Bus Stop with the Hollies. Yeah.
And then he co-wrote I'm Not in Love. So
it's incredible. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that, to be honest with you. Huh. So he produced a lot of your albums up to A Stranger in My Own Backyard, and then you started producing your own stuff too.
Yeah, I did Southpaw, which is an album on my own.
Right.
And then I broke up with my manager, kind of a large legal dispute, which is quite sad.
Yeah.
It wasn't about money; it was a small issue, but anyway. And then Gus Dudgeon produced Off Center for me, and that was really good. That was the first time I'd worked in a situation where all the musicians, we rehearsed everything for about 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and we recorded. So I thought that was that was really cool. So
Yeah.
and Gus, good producer. He was a great producer. Produced
Mm-hmm.
David Bowie's, what's the David Bowie classic, The Moon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Forget that. No.
What was the spark that got you to write Alone Again? What happened that you just wrote that incredible?
Well, it was just another song that I was writing at the time.
Right.
It wasn't any more special than the other ones I was writing. I was happy with it. No question about that. And
I think everybody was.
The interesting thing is, I never thought, it wasn't that situation, but wow, this is going to change me. It wasn't like that.
It wasn't like that.
Happy with it. And the interesting thing was we had to go in the studio to do the next single. And when you do a single, it's 2 songs. A-side. Everybody loved the other song, which was Out of the Question.
Mm-hmm.
They all said Out of the Question should be the single. Alone Again, they didn't think it was commercial.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Oh.
No. So that's, but in the end, Gordon said, it may not be as commercial as Out of the Question, but it's a better song. So let's go with it. And the rest is history.
Amazing. The only song that beat you was Roberta Flack's First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. That was it.
I mean, here's an interesting thing too, Raymond. You should know this, that what's his name? Don McLean was nominated 4 times.
Yeah.
And did he win?
I don't think so, did he?
No, both of us we were the only 2 performing live. Nilsson didn't perform, Roberta didn't perform, but just the 2 of us performed, and neither of us won anything.
It's amazing.
Don McLean should have got one for American Pie. Come on, for God's
sake. Yeah, I've had that on the show. Yeah, I don't think the Beatles did they win a Grammy?
Not in the end, they would have done, but not in the early days.
No, they did not.
I think the argument against giving Don and me one was that we're new, so we need to kind of settle in before they might consider us.
Okay.
But I think American Pie classic song should have been a Grammy.
Yeah, guys like Jimi Hendrix, he never won a Grammy. No. I don't know. I don't know about all those award things, man. Same thing with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I found out something though. I had David Spiro, who manages a lot of artists. He belonged to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for a long time. And the reason why a lot of these guys get voted in and a lot of people don't, it's because of the record company.
Sure.
Like Atlantic Records, if you look at it, a lot of people that sign with Atlantic Records, they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So these other record companies that aren't real familiar, I guess. I mean, it's all politics, basically politics.
What do you like it, or do you think it's a bit of a con, or what do you think?
It's kind of a con. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There's a lot of people that should have been in there, and there's a lot of people that shouldn't be in there that are in there.
I think the latest ones to go in from the UK are Duran Duran. Do you think that's a good move?
I think Duran Duran belong in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're
I do.
They've been anointed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you look at sales and how many hits the artists have had, you belong in there for sure. Oh yeah, for sure.
No, I don't.
I mean, if you had a top 5 hit, not just one, but a few, you belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I really believe that.
It's nice of you to say, Raymond.
Yeah, you do belong there. I mean, Get Down was a cool song. Now, what I understand, you influenced Casey in the Sunshine Band with that band for that song.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, that's what KC says. Which was pretty cool. You influenced Casey in the Sunshine Band. I was going to say, you were friends with Rick Davies from Supertramp also, is that right?
We were in a band together.
Yeah.
My first band was a school band.
Right.
My second band was a youth club band. I was the drummer. Third band was Rick's Blues. Rick is one of those brilliant musicians. He's a brilliant drummer, I mean, he could do what Joe Morello did, roll with one hand. I mean, he was a phenomenal drummer, keyboard player in the band. I was the one that was kind of writing the songs because we went to make a record in a London studio with 2 of my songs. So I was beginning to write. We were really good. And Rick wrote the kind of bluesy stuff, Bill Doggett, Bill Black, really cool stuff. He's one of those kind of those guys who musically is just almost incredible. He taught me blues piano, introduced me to Fats Domino because I didn't know much about Fats Domino.
Right.
So he's a great influence for me. And so we could have turned professional as a band, but the bass player and the guitarist were on apprenticeships. So they didn't want to risk giving that up. So that meant that Rick and I had to decide what to do. Rick needed to be in a band. So he joined a band called the Lonely Ones, which became a band called Joint. And that ended up being Supertramp.
Yeah.
And I ended up being me. But Rick played on my second single because I tried to sort of help them before they broke. But
was there a chance that you could have been in Supertramp?
No, Roger was the main writer. Rick is the album. Rick writes the album track songs. Roger wrote the commercial songs. Right. I fell into that category with Rick's Blues. I wrote the kind of commercial songs, and Rick was writing the kind of bluesy things and stuff.
Yeah.
It was a good mix. He's a great musician.
Roger Hodgson's in my book as well. He's a good guy as well.
No question.
Yeah, I love Supertramp. I love Supertramp. Yeah.
Roger tours on his own.
Yes, he does.
And Rick is not on the road with the band.
I heard he's not doing too well health-wise.
Something to do with what do you call it? The skin.
Oh, really?
What do you call it? You get
psoriasis or something.
When you too much sun.
Okay. I don't know, but
you get it's sort of a cancerous system.
Oh, okay. Do you still talk with him or no?
No, I haven't, because we lost touch when they became really big.
Right.
He kind of lost touch with me and stuff. Before they made it, we spent a lot of time together.
Right.
You could tell the filthiest jokes I've ever heard in my life. Rick in my flat, you'd be awake all night with him telling them about it.
I interviewed Rick Wakeman. I didn't know Rick was such a funny character.
He's a great musician too.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to talk about Clair real quick. That's a great story. That was written about was that Gordon Mills' 3-year-old daughter? Yeah.
I used to babysit for him. I lived down the road. They'd ring me up and say, "Ray, can you babysit?"
Was that in your contract or something?
But I'm used to being around children and stuff, and Claire is affectionate, and she was always coming up to me saying, Uncle Ray, and Uncle Ray's going to marry me and stuff. So I wrote the song as a thank you to Gordon and his wife. And the nice thing is Gordon plays the harmonica in the middle. He plays the solo.
You have there's a video out. Was that the real Clair in the video?
Yeah.
That is Clair in the video. How old is she now?
She's in her 40s, maybe. I mean, I see her occasionally. She comes we meet up, and we have good times together. And she's okay, and she loves the memories of that song. It means a lot to her. Very special.
Well, you need to redo that song with her now. Do the same thing in the video as you did with her when she was little, Yeah, jumping up with the trampoline. Were you on the trampoline? I love it. Okay, here's a question I ask everybody, and I get some very, very interesting answers. Okay. If you had a Field of Dreams wish, like the movie, to perform, collaborate with anyone from the past or present, who would that be?
Well, I did with Peggy Lee. That was a collaboration.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to. I wrote to Fats Domino because I play. There's very few piano players that can influence you. Once I got into Fats Domino, I wrote to him to see if he would. I had this song which I sent him, but he was kind of quite fragile, so it was difficult. He didn't really do much and stuff. So that would have been something special, I think.
Yeah. Huh. That would have been cool. Is there any other piano players that you really admire nowadays, or?
Well, there's very few. I mean, it's the what's his name, Chris Martin of Coldplay plays keyboards a bit.
Right.
He's good. I I don't really hear because Billy is great. Billy Joel is great. No question about it. Other than that, there's not that many of them. There's ain't that many other. There's plenty guitar players, but very few piano players.
Yeah. There's a punk band. Now, this punk band is playing today, and they tour, but they're a fun punk band. Okay. And it's kind of neat to see them. They do a lot of covers.
Okay.
And they picked Alone Again.
Okay.
Okay. They're called the Dolly Rots.
Okay. I think I've heard that.
Have you heard of them?
I think we've heard that.
Look them up on YouTube. I mean, they do a version of your song.
Well, as I said earlier, it's a compliment to you as a writer. If somebody does, you don't have to like it.
Yeah.
The fact that they do it is when we were in America doing the tour in March this year, we were in a venue where there was a smaller venue, and in the smaller venue was a local band, young kids, and they were a big fan. They came in and they loved Nothing Rhymed. And when we went back to England, they put up a version of Nothing Rhymed online that they recorded just for us. So things like that are really kind of nice when those things take place.
Especially today, when like a younger band, does that, and they should. The kids today, they should go back. I mean, they got all the tools at their disposal. They got the phone, the cell phone, the computer. They can look back at all these great artists from the past. I did. Yeah. I look back in generations before my dad, and I appreciated all that music. I didn't have the tools.
I go back to the beginning of the 20th century. So.
Yeah.
Stephen Foster. I always say Stephen Foster was the first songwriter of note, because he wrote "I'll Take You Home Again," "I Dream of Jeannie" with the light brown hair. So he would have influenced Irving Berlin.
Exactly.
But if you think about it, who was there to influence Berlin? I can't think of anybody.
That's true.
But I think Stephen Foster did. So.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, the Beatles had a lot of influences, and you can hear it in the early recordings. Yeah. You look like a great composer with that hair. It's perfect. You'll go down in history. Gilbert, you have anything else to promote you want to talk about? Besides, you got the tour, the new album coming out. What else?
Good. We're all good.
We're all good. We got it all.
Absolutely.
Very good. I want to say special thanks to Hadley Wolfram from Chipster PR for arranging this interview with Gilbert O Sullivan. And purchase the latest release by Gilbert O Sullivan entitled Driven. It's available soon. You can go on his website at www.gilbertosullivan.co.uk. It'll be available on Amazon and all the, local stores, and it'll be everywhere, of course. For more information,
there's vinyl, there's Blu-ray. Do you know Blu-ray?
Blu-ray, sure. It's on Blu-ray.
There's a Blu-ray version. There's a cassette version. I write on cassette, so I kind of like the fact that it's on cassette. And then the vinyl looks great.
Yeah.
So vinyl's a big market now.
It's a big market. But they're selling those albums so expensive now, compared to our day. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I've seen albums now going for $25, Yeah.
Are they kind of limited editions or something, do you think?
I don't know. I don't know if they are or not. I forgot where I saw that. But yeah, they're coming back. They're definitely coming back.
There's a market for it, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you still have a turntable at home?
Of course.
Yeah.
On my last album, I did a song called Dance Set Dreams in 45. A lot of people didn't know what a dance set was, but dance set was the record player.
Yeah.
Dance set record player. So it's a kind of nostalgic song with 45 so singles. Because when we grew up in the 50s, the record player was the essential item. We couldn't afford albums, but we might have known somebody who could borrow and lend us it. We could afford singles.
Yeah.
So, you could play your singles. I mean, an essential item for us.
Well, exactly. I grew up with the AM transistor radio, listening to top 40 DJs. behind me, I don't know if you can see it under my sign that says "Let's Rock." That's a jukebox, and it's got all 45s. They're all 45s in there, and picked by me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Gilbert. Thank you so much, man, for being on the show today. Good luck on the tour and the new album.
Cool. Good to talk to you.
And we'll keep in touch. All right.
Maybe we get over to Florida, you'll come and see us.
I'll be there for sure.
All right.
Take care, man.
Right to another. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye now.